Goody, and today I'm going to talk to you about a slightly interesting topic which have almost always troubled me too. What happens with day 5 and day 6 embryos? And that's where the whole discussion lies. Do day 6 embryos have a lower potential of implantation, or is it that the endometrium goes out of sync? And this is highly debated. So what we do know is that there's a window of implantation, and the window of implantation is quite narrow in an IVF cycle, in about 2 days. Many studies have found that in that narrow period of implantation, it is likely to have errors. Now, if you have a look at one of these papers which was done, and this was one of the first papers which was written, and they looked at around about 619 women with day 5 and day 6 transfer. First look, what they found out is that there was no difference in live birth rates between day 5 and day 6. So they did an analysis much closer, and they found that for day 5 and day 6 blastocyst, they found a better clinical outcome when day 6 embryos had a longer period of progesterone. And in fact, it dropped from 50% to 21% when they had a shorter or a 5-day progesterone, which is normally given. So what you were saying is that the live birth rate increased from 21% to 35.5% when the progesterone was continued and transfer was done on day 7, which means 1 extra day of progesterone. And then you would say, well, that's fantastic, let's adopt it. But many other studies have come out saying, no, that is not probably the case. There's been quite a conflict in the answers coming through. Now, what we do not know is it that a day 5 embryo has a better potential due to its development, or is it something to do with the... Now, what they also found out in the unanswered question is that we also know from doing a fresh cycle that if you put a day 6 embryo, the endometrium goes out of sync and pregnancy rates are much lower. It has also been found out in 2019 by Bowden. And what he looked at, he says, if you looked at day 6 embryos being transferred around the same time as day 5, which means after 5 full days of progesterone on day 6, they had a higher miscarriage rate that tends to occur. So what we don't know now is whether the day 5 embryo has a better blastulation, and that's how it has a better implantation, or a day 6 embryo takes longer to blastulate and longer time to try and have a better formation, and whether that is due to metabolic and epigenetic differences, and whether that lowers the implantation. We do not know exactly whether day 6 embryo has gone past, in some cases, the implantation window, and that's why results are lower. But that question is unanswered, and we still don't know the reason. Whether day 5, day 6 embryos transferred after, let's say, 120 hours, which is 5 days of progesterone, have the same chance of pregnancy, or whether there's a difference. So the question is, how will we know? And I think as larger studies come out, we may be able to answer this question better. Thank you.